Good morning and welcome to Financial Friday. I'm Stacy Sturm, and in the studio with me today, again, we have Legacy Financial Partners, and I have Megan Lenars. Hi, Megan.
Morning, Stacy. How are you?
Good. So we've been talking about real people stories the last couple weeks.
Yes.
So actual real case studies or hypothetical situations, whatever it might be, which I feel is really good because I feel like it gives us a more tangible look on how people's lives look and also the financial world. So what are we looking at today?
Well, today is kind of, we've done what it looks like for a younger professional. We've done what it looks like for somebody who's nearing retirement or in retirement. And now we're kind of looking at that final chapter, if you will, the golden years or,
Yes.
Really what it looks like when you've raised your family and now they're raising the next generation. And who are you as a leader, somebody modeling the values of your family? How are you passing that on, essentially?
And that's probably an expensive time in your life at the same time.
Yes.
Because you have doctors, medical bills, whatever might be going on in your life. Maybe a spouse has passed, you have funeral costs, you have... So they have a lot going on in that time.
Yeah, there's kind of this tug of war between you really want to establish, at least this is how it looks, really wanting to establish who you were, that you lived a life of value, that the people in your life will remember you positively, and at the same time your body's fighting you in this world, right? Like you're
time's running out.
Yeah, there's all this stuff you want to do, and you realize how close the end of the tunnel is, and it's just this really strange kind of epiphany for folks that you know what, I've had a good run. And this is how I hope folks remember me. Yeah. And you're right. It can be a very expensive and stressful time in people's lives too. So, for all you young folks out there, it doesn't get easier. The stresses just change.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do they need to do? What do they need to keep in mind now at this point in their lives?
Okay. Well, like we went back to at the beginning was this is where your 5 main goals really come back into harsh reality of your health as being number one, and realizing that your body is at odds with what your mind and your heart want to do. And then your family, how you've impacted them, how you are,
and now what
continuing to impact them, and what you hope to do for them, once you're no longer with us. And then, being able to say, I have lived a good life and I'm ready to go. Right. And that's a hard place for a lot of people to get to, but that's kind of the goal of, your body is shutting down, but you love your family, and are you ready to say goodbye? And so what we look at this point is okay, are the folks in your life matching up to what you want to pass on, right? So in the financial world, are the people advising you recognizing what you can share with the next generation or two, and how you're doing it? Is it, are they in touch with your attorneys and or accountants? Are they giving you strategies for how to share your wisdom or wealth or whatever with those you love? And those you love, a lot of times, is charity as well, right? It's not just people.
That's true.
It's the community you've lived in. It's the circle of influence you've built, and how you can continue to impact that.
So what are some of the things that they might want to look at doing, Megan?
Well, if you haven't yet, and this is true for all of the folks we've talked about, whether you're in your 30s or 60s or now in the sunset years, if you have not put some type of legal documentation together to say, this is who I want to be responsible for me in a power of attorney. And there are 2 different kinds of powers of attorney. So one for your living affairs, that's called a durable power of attorney, and then one for healthcare. So they can be different people. A lot of times they're the same, but they can be different people. making sure you have a will, making sure that if you have a complex financial life, that you have some estate planning strategies working for you. And then if you're in a position to, if education is something you value, a way to pass that on. If that's something you like, if it's charitable, there's lots of ways to address that, both with your advisor and your attorneys. So, making sure you're having those conversations, especially with your family members, because man, it is painful and hurts and it's emotional when folks don't have that conversation when they have the chance.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable in the moment, but it's
eventually that conversation is going to be had, but if you're dead, it's too late.
Or if you're incapacitated and your kids are fighting,
that's not good.
It's not good for anybody in the family. So it helps to get that stuff out in the air. It's uncomfortable. It really is.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about when they go.
Right. And you know, we're all going to live forever, but
right.
But it is one of those things where you know, you've had all of this amazing time here. It's been an amazing gift. So let's recognize that for what it is and enjoy it. And how can we enjoy it? We can take this stress away from our family by making our intentions known. And doing that with advisors that share our values, whether it's education or long-term thinking or, you know, making sure that our dear Uncle Sam only gets what he's due. Now, he's a greedy guy, but, you know, we can make sure that we pay him what he's due and nothing more, right? Like, working through those types of questions. And again, that's a question for all ages, but it really comes to light in these final sunset years.
So if people want to make an appointment with you and, you know, make sure that they have everything in line for the last chapter of their lives, how can they do that, Megan?
Well, you can reach out to me via email, megan.lenars@ampf.applemarypaulfrank.com. I'm also on LinkedIn, and my website is ameripriseadvisors.com/megan.lenars. And I would say, even if you are not in this part of your life, but someone you know is, or someone you care about is. Well, you should definitely
have that talk with your parents.
Yeah.
You know, if your parents are getting up there and you have brothers and sisters or siblings, or even if you don't, even if you're an only child, you should maybe urge them to make sure that things are taken care of.
Where I would go with that is, you may not know the questions to ask. So having this conversation for yourself, what advisors are looking for their clients, so you know what to ask your parents or your aunt and uncle or whoever it is that you end up feeling some responsibility for, you know, that it's okay to have a conversation of, I don't know the questions to ask. I don't know how to have this conversation. Yeah. Can you help me? And that's where, even if you aren't in this situation yourself, we can still help you through it. So
awesome.
Happy to do that.
Well, good advice, Megan. Thanks for being on with us today.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Stacey. Appreciate it.
And you've been listening to Financial Friday on urlradio.net.